people, it's me, Anja. My pronouns are she and her, and welcome back to my channel for a new video. Honestly, I haven't read a whole lot of books recently with mental health representation, which is why it's been so long since I filmed part 2 to this video. But anyway, here we are. The first book on this list is called We Can't Keep a Meeting Like This. This book is a YA contemporary following a young girl who's a wedding harpist. If that makes any sense, like she plays the harp at weddings, and basically she's been disillusioned recently with the idea of love, and over a summer she and a hopeless romantic, because their parents work together, helps her change her idea of love. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but I hope it does. This book was so good and it was so well done, and the mental health representation in this book is specifically anxiety, in case you were wondering. I think this book is so good and it's so well done. Lynn Solomon, the author, is literally so talented, and her books are so amazing and they're so wonderful. The plot, the characters, the romance, the family elements, this book has it all. It's absolutely so awesome in every single element, and with that I would highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Foretold. This book is a YA urban fantasy following a young girl who has OCD, and she can also see the future. So that's so cool. And basically she sees something in her future that she would like to change, so she joins a secret society to help her figure that out. However, there's a price to pay with that. So anyway, this book is so good and it's so awesome. First of all, the world building and the magic system was so inventive and so creative, and I really enjoyed them. The plot was so fast-paced, so intriguing, and so well done. The characters were so well developed and so distinct. The romance was so wonderful and absolutely so lovely. The OCD representation was so great. I'm so excited to read this sequel, although if I'm being honest, I don't know when the sequel is coming, but I think that there is one. So anyway, I'm so excited to continue this series because this book is so good and it's so underrated, and with that I would highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Blade of Secrets. This book is a YA fantasy following a young blacksmith with social anxiety who accepts a commission from the wrong person and is forced to go on the run with the most powerful sword she's ever made. So that's fun. This book was so good and it was so well done. And again, I'm so excited for the sequel, which I know for sure is called Master of Island, and it comes out in August. And I'm absolutely so excited for it because this book was so good. First of all, the world building was so inventive and it was absolutely so creative and it was so immersive. Second of all, the plot was so fast-paced and so action-packed and absolutely so engaging. Third of all, the characters are so well developed and so distinct. The sister relationship was so wonderful and it was so lovely. The romance was so cute and it was so great and absolutely so wonderful. This book deserves so much more hype because it's absolutely so good and I really enjoyed it. And again, the social anxiety representation was so great and so wonderful. So with that, I would highly recommend this book. The next book on this list is called How to Become a Planet. This book is a middle-aged contemporary following a young sapphic girl who's navigating her mental health, specifically depression, and is trying to get better. This book was so good. It was so emotional and it was absolutely so heartbreaking, and I really enjoyed it. This book is so awesome. First of all, the plot was so engaging and it was absolutely so intriguing. Second of all, the characters are so well developed and so distinct. Third of all, the mental health representation was so good. I love reading about young people who are navigating mental health because for me, it's so rare to read middle-aged stories that follow a main character with mental health, because the majority of books that I've read with mental health representation are YA. So reading this was so refreshing, and it was also so much more emotional and heartbreaking, if that makes any sense. Fourth of all, the sapphic romance in this book was so cute and it was so well developed. I'm so much more excited for for the author's next book, which I believe is called The Science of Being Angry, and it comes out in May, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, I'm so excited for that book, because this book was so awesome, and it was so lovely, and with that, I would highly, highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Starfish. This book is a YA contemporary following a young, biracial, half-Japanese girl who's grappling with social anxiety and her narcissist mom in the wake of a rejection from an art school. This book is so awesome, and it's so well done. For those who don't know, this author is one of my favorite authors of all time because her writing is so lyrical and it's so beautiful, and her stories are so awesome and they're so emotionally driven, and I've always enjoyed every single one of them. Her latest book, which I believe comes out in October, is one of my most anticipated 2022 new releases because all of her books have been so incredible and so well done. And this book was her debut, and it really solidified how wonderful her writing is because the story is so amazing. The characters were so well developed and so distinct, and everything felt so real and so authentic. The romance was well developed and so cute. The plot was so engaging. This book broke my heart into two pieces and also pieced it back together, if that makes any sense. This book is so awesome, and it deserves all the type and so much more. So with that, I would highly, highly recommend it. The last book on this list, but certainly not the least, is called Made You Up. This book is a YA contemporary following a young high school senior who has schizophrenia. And this book, if you didn't know, was one of my favorites of 2021, which means that I loved every single second of it, and there's nothing I would change about it, and it made me cry at least once. I had really high expectations for this book before reading it because this author previously wrote one of my favorite books of all time, which is Eliza and Her Monsters, and this book definitely lived up to those high expectations, thankfully. The characters were so well developed and so distinct. The schizophrenia representation was so lovely, and I really felt it. I was so emotionally attached to this story and to these characters. The romance was so well developed and it was so cute. The plot was so engaging and absolutely so intriguing. This book deserves so much more hype, and in my opinion, it deserves just as much hype as Eliza and Her Monsters. So with that, I would highly, highly recommend this book because it was so awesome and it was absolutely so incredible. So, in conclusion, I hope to read more books with mental health representation in 2022. Second of all, since this video is a part 3, I will leave in the description box below parts 1 and 2 if you haven't seen those videos already. If you enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below the elephant emoji if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching, subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!